Hi, boys and girls. It's Laura the Teach. How are you today? I've missed you. I want to talk to you today about the base 10 system. Now, if you remember in some of my past videos, we have what we call the family. The family is comprised of the hundreds, tens, and ones columns. If we focus on the tens column, and you can count by 10, then you can master anything associated with counting by 10. So today, we're going to practice some verbal counting, counting out loud. So first, let's practice counting by tens again. Are you ready? So we have 10 fingers, 10 toes. And so every time I go like this, we're going to add another set of 10. So when we count by 10, we start with 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. That's typically what we do when we count by 10. But did you know that you can count by 10 with having a number in the ones column? For instance, 11. 11 means that you have one set of 10 and one 1. So you have one group of 10 and one extra. So if we add a group of 10 to the tens column, and we start at 11, and we add another group of 10, we go from one group of 10 to two groups of 10, and we still have that 1 in the ones column. So let's practice. If we start at 11, we add a group of 10, then we have two 10s and one 1. So we'd say 11, 21, and what comes after the 20s? 31. What comes after the 30s? 41. What comes after the 40s? 51. Do you get the idea? So let's start again at 11. 11, 21, 31, 41, 51, 61, 71, 81, 91, and 101. Now, sometimes it's confusing when you get into the hundreds. And so I'll do another lesson on that later on, but I have you think of it as groups of 10. So if we went to 101, that's 10 groups of 10. 10 tens is 100. So if we went to 10 groups of 10, then we'd go to 11 groups of 10, then 12 groups of 10, and 13 groups of 10. So we would say 101, and if we add a group of 10, it'd be 11, 1, then 12, 1, 13, 1, and counting those as groups of 10. But of course, we'd count it as 111, 121, 131. But we are calling them the number of groups of 10 to help us until we get used to adding 10. So let's try another one. Let's say we want to start at the number 13. And so we have one group of 10 and 3 ones. So after one group of 10 is two groups of 10. So if we start at 13 and we add 10, we go from one 10 to two 10s, but the 3 ones stay the same. So let's try it. 13, 23, 33, 43, 53, 63, 73, 83, 93, 103. And again, if you're confused, what would come next? 100 is 10 groups of 10 with 3 ones left over. So then we would go to 11 groups of 10 and 3 ones, which would be 113. And then we keep counting like we were. 113, 123, 133, 143, and so forth. When we get to 200, that's 20 groups of 10. So then we'd move on to 21 groups of 10. See? You guys are catching on so quickly. So let's do one more. Let's start at the number 53 this time instead of 13. And so we already counted with 3 ones. If we just start at 53, we're going to add another group of 10. So after the 50s come the 60s. So we'd say 53, 63, 73, 83, 93, 103, because after 9 10s is 10 10s, then 11 10s. All right, so let's try another one, but this time we're going to change the number in the ones column. So let's start with 74. So we're always going to have 4 in the ones column, but we're going to change our group of 10, which is our 70, 7 groups of 10. So what comes after the 70s? You're right, 80s. So if we started at 74, and we add 10, 84, 94, 104. And after 10 10s is 11 10s. So 114, 124, 134, 144, 100 and what? 54, right? 164. Good. You're catching on. So practice counting by 10 by just changing the number in the tens column, keeping the number in the ones column the same. And even if you add a number to the hundreds column to make the family complete with hundreds, tens, and ones, the only number that's going to change for the most part is the number in the tens column. But then when we get to another group of 10 10s, we have to change the 100 as well. I am so proud of you. Great job. Keep practicing.